bar running along the tops of your screens any moment. I do record all of these sessions and they get posted to a YouTube channel where you can see all of the classes that I have taught, and I will continue to upload the classes that I am teaching throughout all of this. As well as I'll send out a quick recap to everybody that kind of covers what we went over, as well as we'll have a link to this video. For those of you in here that do not know me, my name is Anuj. I am the field marketing specialist here in Santa Cruz and Monterey County. And today we're going to go into Prospect Square and talk about editing the Clients for Life material in a way that can be much more beneficial to your brand in regards to creating sustainable connections with your clients. Because that's the big kind of overarching message out of marketing right now, is being sure to make sure you guys are staying top of mind with your clients in a way that is relevant to them during the COVID-19 process. So I'm going to ask that for courtesy purposes, just a couple of housekeeping things. Let's remain muted until the end of the call. I will take questions at a pocket at the end. I'm going to try and make sure I get everybody out of here in less than a half hour. If you do have any questions along the way and you're worried about forgetting them, utilize the chat feature. I will check the chat also at the end, but feel free to drop things in there throughout the class. If for whatever reason my internet gets disrupted and I disappear, hang tight. It does happen here and there because of the high volume of users nowadays online, but I usually come back within about 30 seconds. So all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen, and let's dive into our training today. Give us 1 second. Perfect. So everyone should see CB Desk. We're going to do a quick start from here. Everything that we are doing today is operating in Prospect Square. I'm not going all over the nuts and bolts of Prospect Square and necessarily how to get the basics started. What we're doing is really specifically talking about creating sustainable messaging out of this Clients for Life program, much like you can be doing throughout even before this crisis. I think a lot of the most successful agents in my region that are utilizing this program are already doing what I'm going to be talking to you guys about. And I think what makes it stick is taking and leveraging what Coldwell Banker's already putting into this system, and then adding that little extra effort, maybe taking aside a couple of hours a week before the email goes out to add a few things that you've been saving throughout the month in preparation for this next email, to make sure that the local message gets through first, and then you've got all of these additional resources coming in after. That sounds like a lot, right? What does that necessarily mean? I'm going to show you, before we jump into Prospect Square, an example of my Clients for Life email from last month that I edited and sent out in to my sphere. So as you can see, I took the existing email that was there, the Community Matters. You still have the link that goes out to everything. So for my region, it was a list of stuff that the community was basically the greater Silicon Valley, kind of from Carmel all the way up into the Burlingame, South San Francisco kind of area. So there's a pretty big swath of region covered. And it is great as is. And of course, the program is set if you would like to just kind of set it and forget it, and it will do that, and it will be a warm contact for your clients. But what we really want out of this is, as I said, you take an extra, hour or two to prep this before it goes out, and you have something that we have analytics that come back from all of this stuff that I'll get into in a little bit, that will allow you to really see an increase both in engagement and click-through. Because obviously, as budgets have changed for all companies across the country, Coldwell Banker has gotten creative with what we're sending out. So we're obviously can't give away tickets to basketball games because basketball games aren't a thing right now. Same for any other sports or theater tickets or things like that. So what we've got last month was a kind of support network email of things that you can do. And a big thing that you can really leverage is adding video to these channels that you're sending out to be able to make it easy for your consumer. Those of you that have worked with me in the past or have been in my other classes probably have heard me say a big thing in marketing is people hear with their eyes. The easiest way you can provide this stuff to your consumer, the better. For people that just want to hear what your message is, I've got a video attached. For those that actually want a bit more detail, everything's also written out right here. What does the video sound like? Just to give you guys a quick preview, I'll play mine. Something I shot quickly on my phone and threw into this. I also taught a YouTube basics class, so I'm not going to go into the minutia of YouTube, but get a video uploaded to your channel, private or public, and you can drop that link, and I'll show you how to do all of that in a moment. But this is what I threw in here.
Hey everybody, this is Anuj. I wanted to reach out and just kind of pop in, see how everybody's doing. I know I've sent out an email or two since this kind of shelter in place has started. I know it's kind of felt like we've been at this for ages now. And just wanted to remind everybody, I'm available if you need me, if you have any questions. I know that you're used to getting usually an email about a giveaway or especially this time of year, an activity guide full of stuff happening all across the Bay Area counties. But obviously there's been a lot of changes. And with that, I'm sending out this resource guide. There's a link below with some stuff to the greater Silicon Valley, as well as a bunch of local resources to help our businesses that are struggling right now. We want to make sure we do our best to support them and the community around us. Again, if you guys need me, reach out to me, and have a great day. Take care, everybody. Stay healthy.
Quick, simple, effective. The biggest takeaway from the reason why I talk about propping videos into this is that statistically speaking, with agents that I've been working with in my region, we've seen things like open rates and click-through, meaning someone actually click-through means someone actually clicked on this and got to the guide that is in the system. But for anybody that actually, engages with it, you've got two separate data points that come back. And we've seen by adding video into it, we've seen people's numbers and tailoring it too and making it a little bit more local. We've seen numbers go from the low 20s, like 20 to 23% on open and engagement rates, into the mid 40s to sometimes into the low 60% for consumers seeking value. And more importantly, we've made a resource for them to revisit, so you can come back to the email and find more here. So obviously, like I said, I've got my greater Silicon Valley resource, but I also went in and put stuff for the two counties I operate in. For example, Santa Cruz County has this Ride Out the Wave program that is allowing people to collect gift cards and buy gift cards for various restaurants. And then I've got a list of restaurants in both counties that you can link to and order from directly. I've made it easy for my consumer. And again, I made an email that they'll revisit. And then this is plugging all of my other social media channels, my website. It's, again, if you've been in my other sessions, you've heard me talk about making sure your marketing is cyclical and connected. Everything will hub back to what's important, because people that are in my sphere are obviously connected to all of my sources. But we can remind everybody too, you should have, I'm highlighting a handful of restaurants. And then I can remind everybody in a message underneath this that for a running list of open restaurants by county or by city, whatever you can best add to your website, have a full list there and drive consumers back to your main page. These very much shouldn't be a pin on to your marketing plan. These need to be something that are leveraged as you would any other asset of your marketing plan throughout the year to really get some business generated from it and excitement out of your consumer base from it. Now, how do I do all of this, right? So let's go into Prospect Square. I'm using one of my agent's accounts. Qantas was kind enough to let me demo in his account. So we're going to quick overview, right? You get onto your landing page, you're going to see past campaigns and current and upcoming campaigns. This is what we want to focus on, right? It's the beginning of the month. You will always, in the first week of the month, be able to edit the most recent campaign, which is what we're going to do right now, and then you'll see the date it is scheduled to go out. So you want to make sure your edits are all complete by midnight on the 11th. That way, everything is set to go out on the 12th as scheduled. We're going to go into the Clients for Life section right here on our menu. Once we get into here, we can go into, now, before I dive into all of the editing, I'm just going to quickly gloss over the analytics on a past campaign, because as you can see right there where I clicked View Analytics, this is some of the stuff I was talking about. Some of my colleagues are doing, full deep dives on Prospect Square where they really go into this, but we've got an open rate of 5%. Of those 5%, 20% are clicking through. So we're going to try and make a change to how we present the email this month, and then we can see how those numbers have changed. Most importantly, we know that there's a very low rate not receiving these emails of the people we're sending them to. So that's very good. Nobody's unsubscribed. None of them are bouncing. This is so far so good, right? So all we want to do is improve. So how do we edit that email? First thing we want to do before you start editing things and diving in is, I'm going to go ahead and close some of these, is let's click on the campaign. And you can see exactly what the email currently is. And what we've got is list of project ideas intended to spruce up the house and sharpen the mind and bring the whole family together. We can click on the list and look at the activity guide. There's home improvements, outdoor projects, indoor projects, games, family entertainment, and so on, right? So I would look at this and think about, okay, what can I do to supplement it? So first off, I want to create a video telling people what's going to be here. And then again, we'll do stuff, tie in our local, whatever you want to bring to the table. And again, whatever you think your consumer base will see value in locally. You can remind them about, charity drives that are happening, whatever you want to link to. I'm going to go ahead and show some of the examples using what I did with the last one. First things first is we're going to click on these three dots right here and go to edit. That will allow us to see the actual editing space. So the quick readout of here, subject is what the actual subject of the email will be. Introduction message will be anything that pops up above the HTML message. Do not add anything here. It looks weird. Everything you want to do, add into the body of the email when you edit it. Social media sharing, in the account section of Prospect Square, you can link Twitter and LinkedIn to have auto social media posting. If you want to add a message to that social post, this is where you would do that, and make sure you save any of those edits. But before we, outside of that, you can see who is getting these distribution groups, or who's going to get the email when it's scheduled to go out. And then you've got a URL for a web version of it that you can view, much like the version of mine that I shared here. Now to edit, all we're going to do is click edit and get into the email bay. And this is where you'll see everything you can do, from source code right up here to pasting from Word. You can paste in text. You've got a spell checker. We've got Flash edition tools, adding links, adding YouTube videos. This is a great place to play around, send test emails to yourself. You've got various styles for headers, formats, fonts, and font sizes, as well as font colors, background colors for texts. And it's a great space to get in here and see what you can do to make these a better part of your marketing outreach. So first things first, I'm going to add a video that I shot. Let's go to my YouTube, where I went ahead and uploaded it. And here we are. I'm going to go ahead and go to my channel. And I can click on, any of the videos. It's just as easy as you'll see in a second. I'm just going to pick one right here.
Hey everyone.
And if that's the one I'm going to add, I'm going to hit share. Whether it's, if it's, a private video, you can grab it out of your YouTube Studio by clicking on your account and going into YouTube Studio and then going on the back end and viewing all of your videos if it happens to be an unlisted one. But if it's unlisted, you'll still grab that share link from this back end. And then all you have to do is now I've got that link and I want it to go right above all of this messaging. So I'm going to go ahead and move that text down, go right up in here, hit add video, add a YouTube video, this little embed YouTube video button. You can embed the code, or you can just go right to paste URL, and bam, it's just that easy. First thing you want to do, make it responsive so it will adjust the size to fit your consumer's device. Turn off suggested videos at the end. We don't want your consumer going down the rabbit hole of YouTube. We want them staying in the email. I also turn off the player controls and I turn on autoplay. Autoplay doesn't always work. It depends on the device, but the player controls, again, will just bring up more options for a consumer. All we really want them to do is be able to play the video or scrub back and forth. That's all we need. And that's it. You just hit OK. Video drops in. And then let's say I want to link to something. So I've got I'm going to go down here and I'm going to keep the same font because I want it all to look consistent. I'm going to say, let's make sure we support our local businesses. And remember, you've got a spell check built in. You can hit spell checker. Oh wait, you've got to select the word. I've got, another tool built in to do that, but you can enable, and that will go through and check for grammar and things like that as well. But anyway, I digress. We support our local businesses. Click here to find out more. Now, obviously, the more detail you can put here, the better. But let's say, I want to make that click here text link to that Ride the Wave website. So I'm going to go and open that rideoutthewave.org. See, I brought this up for a reason. And we're going to go ahead and copy this link, go back into where I want it to link to, and I'm going to hit this little connected link, like a fence or a chain link, and all you have to do is paste in that code right here. Display text is going to be whatever you highlighted. Don't worry about the other options. You don't really need to get into it. Everything else is built to function as is. And if you want to remove a link, you just click on whatever has a link and hit unlink, and just like that, it's gone. If you wanted to edit the text here like I did, all you have to do is highlight, and you can click and edit. But you want to make sure you do it in a way that makes everything still fit. Obviously, this is linking to something, so you can click here and just like that, that is now, again, the whole goal is to build this just like you would if you've taken my InTouch session on editing those emails to go out to your consumers. You want to build something valuable to them. This one's about games, so maybe I would go online and grab, you could go to just Google, and we'll go top iPhone games, and then open up another window and go top Android games. Oops, I closed that. And then all you would have to do is go into the Android App Store or the Google App Store. So see, I've got the Google Play Store right here, which is for Android. You've got the iPhone Store, and we would just paste this link, and we can say, I can put in a section here. Here are some fun games I recommend. I can't spell today. And then we can go all I would have to do is copy this, add the link, And just like that, we would do the same thing for the iPhone. And again, now your email, if your consumer is opening it on their phone, it will go right to their app store so they can download that app. Build in something, and that took me less than a minute to do, right? If you do a little bit of homework ahead of time block yourself out to give yourself, an hour to two a week before these emails go out, you can have something that's super valuable and something that your clients revisit and will continue to drive them and keep your face and your brand top of mind during this crisis. So on the other side, you're the person they're reaching out to. Again, the constant messaging you've heard from marketing is we want you guys to be the figureheads, mayors, whatever you want to call it, but you want to be a leader in your community. You guys sell houses to people in your communities. You love your communities, and this is why you are that asset and resource to your consumers for information about your communities and just stuff to help you get through this, because you help build people's families, and you're more than just someone that talks square footage and school districts and et cetera. So with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen. That's about it. Once you're done with everything, you would hit OK. Obviously, this isn't mine, so I'm not, and I'm going to hit cancel. When you're done with everything editing-wise, you would hit save. I'm not going to do that again because this isn't mine, but you would save it. It would, ask you to confirm that it's going to go out to people in the default campaign settings that you've already scheduled, or people that you have edited in that group to receive this email. And once those are all saved and set, it will go out on the scheduled date. And that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the floor to questions. Let's check out the chat and see what's going on there. You can also feel free to unmute yourself if you have something you would like to ask. Gwen said gift cards for businesses might have been a good idea for May. You can still do that. The May email hasn't gone out, and that is a great way to, again, cross-promote those local businesses. And you can give away, a couple of $20 gift cards. You can tell people that, make sure you open the email. Anybody that views the list inside of the email will be entered into the drawing, and then you can pick from the people that clicked through on the analytics that I showed you. Oh yeah, you can that writeoutthewave.org thing is a link to buy gift cards. You can link specific restaurants. You could interview via Teams a business owner and talk about that restaurant. And there's all kinds of opportunities to put great content into these emails to be valuable to your consumers. Gwen, if you are having some issues there with the numbers that you're seeing in analytics, feel free to reach out to you reach out to me or reach out to your FMS or SSA, and they can set up some time to kind of go over that, and we can see what's causing some of those number problems. Are there any other questions that I can assist with? Feel free, as I said, to drop them into the chat or unmute yourself and ask. As always, I will include the recording in the email that I send out as a recap. And in that recap, there is a link to a survey. Our colleagues and myself always appreciate any feedback you can give to our management team about how we are doing in the field. Email me. You'll be able to reply to the recap, and you can schedule some time, Gwen, and we can do that. My schedule is usually much like most of my colleagues, about a week or so out ahead because of the just the amount of workload and the reduced hours. But email me and reply back, and we can figure it out. I will hang on, let's say another 30 seconds for questions. I put my email in the chat. Perfect. Well, everybody, have a great day. Be well. It's the middle of the week, so happy Wednesday. Everybody's doing a fantastic job. Like I said, you've got an excellent support team behind you. You are welcome. To everybody saying thank you. I'm glad you guys found this valuable. Again, any help in the survey would be greatly appreciated. But